Guys, I've been so tired today. This weekend was a bit different than how I envisioned it. Did not envision the date I went on yesterday going that way. I also did not envision my project taking as long as it did. I got too excited and overly ambitious, as always, but this time it really didn't work out super great. I think the video itself is okay, but the amount of stress that took, the toll that took on me mentally, that is not a good project that I'm proud of in that sense. Like, I'm genuinely not proud of that. It's like I worked myself too hard for it, you know? There's a balance. There's a balance. There's a fine line, I think, between. I've been thinking about this lately. There's a fine line between, like, wanting things and also being content where you are, too. Like, that balance is really hard to strike. So sometimes it's okay. Like, balance is also being comfortable with periods and moments of imbalance. And this weekend was a period of imbalance for me. And I know the assignment itself was so simple of like just throw something in, like just make a video or whatever. But I am the person that takes those assignments really seriously because I'm doing it for me. Like I'm doing it 100% for me. I'm not doing it because they're asking me to. I'm going out and I'm filming stuff live in public for the first time. I've never done that before. It was a first. Definitely a first. Definitely growing experience. Even if the video itself isn't something I'm necessarily proud of, I'm so proud of that. And that was fun. Like, that was actually the best part. I took myself out. We went to this little, downtown Dublin and filmed Dublin, Ohio, by the way. I'm not that cool. Um, and I filmed myself outside of a library, like right by the entrance. There were people walking by, still filming myself, proud of that. I also filmed myself down by a river where there was like the potential that my phone could fall in the water. Still did it. And it was flooding too, so it would have been really bad. I was smart though. I set up the recording with my old phone that I already dropped a kettlebell on. But the filming quality actually came out pretty well. Like, if you guys watch the video, it's on my YouTube channel, of course. But I will say, it definitely interrupted my normal patterns, and I think it might take me a little time to get back to normal. So I'm kind of overcorrecting today with some extra relaxation. Um, it's really, it's really hard because another aspect of it too is I'm so lonely, like so lonely lately. And it's okay. Like, this is the season that I'm in. This is a period of time where it has a lesson in it, you know? The lesson is one that I need to get out of my head and just talk to people even if I don't feel like it. Maybe especially if I don't feel like it. But two, that I need to be content where I am because part of it too is um, I went on a date yesterday and the date was like not great. Super weird first date, super weird conversation. It was interesting. I mean, I also contributing to that was the fact that I also stayed up till like 4 the night before and got a couple hours of sleep and then just rolled out of bed and basically went on the date. Then came back home and finished editing the video that I put up. Um, I, man, my standards for myself really make my life harder, but it's worth it. Like, I am way more proud of that video than I think I would be if I didn't, but also not proud of how I managed it, you know? The amount of stress that was put into that video was just uncalled for. Um, but I am proud of myself. Like, at the end of the day, I'm proud of myself. Sometimes you have to go a little bit past your limits to learn, but yeah, big learning curve there. So, yeah, the date was weird, super off, but the biggest takeaway I've had lately from online dating, which I deleted my account because of how the date went. It's not that it was like scary. It was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I'll go back to that coffee shop either because it's like kind of got some associations for me now. I sound like I've been like traumatized. It was just like it's kind of weird. Like, I'd ask him questions and he'd be super dodgy and like he would like smile knowing that like he's gonna say something that's gonna make me not interested in him, and I'm just like, okay, say it. Like, tell me what you're thinking. Just be honest. And then he'd say it. Of course, I'd be like, yikes. Like, whoo, that's your opinion. Like, wow, okay. I'm concern, you know? But, and honestly, he's fine. You know what I mean? Like, just not for me, you know? Um, I mean, when it comes down to, though, for, like, the dating apps and all the stuff lately of going on these, like, random dates with people, it's made me realize how lucky I was the first time, you know? How there's, like, no reason that it worked out so well the first time. And I'm, like, sorry, I'm, like, a little bit nostalgic, I guess is the word for it, because honestly, I wouldn't go back right now. Like, it wouldn't work now. Our lives are definitely headed in different directions, but I'm so thankful for that experience, and I think it really was the right person at the right time, for the right season. I don't regret any of that. Like, even the dumb stuff I did, that I do in some ways regret. I don't regret all of it. And there's only a little bit that I think I would have changed, you know. Mostly the way that I treated him and what I allowed were what I expected him to treat me. My expectations are different now. I know a little bit better what I actually need in a relationship and as a person that, you know, I didn't before. And I'm thankful for, you know, the whole thing, regardless. But going out there again just makes me appreciate how fortunate I was. And I really genuinely wouldn't be the person I am now without my ex-boyfriend. Like, I really wouldn't be. And you know, you meet those people that, like, you're just so thankful that you know them. It doesn't even matter that they're not in your life anymore. Or knew them. I don't know him now. Yeah. Still proud of myself. I haven't looked at his Instagram since I confessed it the last time. um, so, and I appreciate the vlogs for helping me grow in that too. But yeah, I think about it like a lot. Like, even the car I have is from his parents, and you know, the computer that I have that really makes me able to do all the stuff I'm doing now is you know, it's not like I didn't pay for it, but it's still not something that I would have known how to put together or been able to afford without, you know, having some of his support. Like, okay, he gave me a decent deal on like the whole computer, like insanely good deal actually. And then you know, I didn't even have to like figure out how to put a computer together, and it's like one of those build it yourself things. So like, I would never be able to do that. At least, you know, it's just not something I would seek out. And so the fact that it like was just such perfect like provision, one thing after another, to like really help me become the person I am now, like, I'm so thankful for it. Even like the taste I have in coffee, like that was something that it was like really, you know, I've grown a lot in that. Like, it's cool. And yeah, it just like, you're really like proud that you knew that person, even if you're not with that person anymore. And the cool thing is, like, now that I've had that experience, before, like, if I was, you know, not having dated anyone, I probably would have been more okay with, like, settling for whatever. Like, in some ways, I wondered, hey, did I just settle for the first guy that paid attention to me over a year ago when that happened? I guess a year and 6 months, 7 months now. Not Doesn't matter. I'm just saying it to give a timeline roughly on how much I've grown since then. If I like looking back now, it's like, you didn't settle. Like, he genuinely was great, and you weren't dumb for dating him or whatever. Because like, there was those doubts, you know, when it's over, you're like, what was I missing? You know, where were the big cracks? Having a few other dating experiences now, because I really didn't before. Never. You know, I'm 22, and he was still the only relationship I've had. So like, having a few more like worse experiences, or like not connecting, not agreeing on the big stuff, I'm just even more thankful and more sure that, like, wow, I really was, that was good, you know? And there's like, that's a lot of reassurance too. Because it kind of sucks when like, you're like, oh, that was it's not only not happening anymore, but dang, it was just a bad experience from the beginning. Looking back on it now, it's like, I've got a little more space, a little more perspective, and be like, wow, I'm so thankful that it happened. I'm also I'm talking about this very nostalgic, whatever. I'm so thankful it's not happening now, and I'm so thankful that I have the freedom to explore myself, and, you know, go to different places and meet new people. Like, that's not something I think I would have sought out before. So, mixed gratitude. But most of all, just so thankful that, you know, it was the right person at the right time. And it was also the right time that ended. So, all to say, extra nostalgia on top of, like, working a lot lately. This weekend was weird. Very weird. Today I was so tired that, like, I went to my friend's house like I usually do for lunch and after church, and I just laid on the couch and, like, took a nap. I couldn't, like, I didn't even, like, hear them in the room after I, like, closed my eyes for a second, and I didn't realize that they'd put, like, a blanket on me, and I don't even, I vaguely remember them putting a pillow thing under my head. I was tired, very tired. Was not planning to stay for lunch. I just wanted to get some tea and chat for a tiny bit and then head out. But ended up staying for a little while, and it was good. So it's nice having those places where you feel, like, safe to be yourself and just be vulnerable and rest. So it's just weird, like, it's almost like, you know, when you find that really, like, small coffee shop that, like, nobody you know goes to, and it's, like, your thing, and it's your space where you can just be yourself, free of, you know, other versions of yourself, basically. When I switched churches to this one, that's kind of what it was like. It was like finding this space where I could be relieved of my stress from school and not be talking to people that are also having the same stresses. And just like any wonderful thing, other people realize how great it is, and you get to share it with them, but there is a sense of lost magic. It doesn't feel sacred anymore, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just something you have to grieve, I think. The change of buildings, the change of people, and it's a lot of change, but it's okay. It's only one aspect of my life, and just like anything, it is going to change. But so have I. You know, I've changed too. So yeah, just a few more months till I graduate, and then the big change. So I am glad I'm not going to Japan, though, because I'm not going to Japan because I genuinely, with everything else that's going on with my family, with other stuff, I don't think I could handle it. But I'm still glad that I'm still proud of myself for, like, going for it and trying to send for it. And maybe someday, actually, definitely someday, if I'm still alive within the next 20 years, I'll definitely try to go to Japan and, you know, save up money, go there, have a fun experience, and, you know, come back a better person for it. So definitely planning to travel more once I have a job, money, and spending it wisely and intentionally, and saving and investing and all the smart stuff that smart people do. Paying off loans would also be cool too. But anyway, those are all the things that's on my mind, and thanks for watching. Also, threw off my vlog schedule with all this stuff going on, and I'm kind of mad about it because I try and show up consistently for myself first and then other things. And I will say the video I made this weekend was showing up for myself, but I don't want to neglect other aspects of my life because I'm showing up for myself in one area. I usually show up in all areas of my life. So anyway, I am gonna make some avocado pasta for dinner with chicken and tomato, and yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So catch you guys later. So I realized I can tend to record more when I'm stressed or tired because it is really a way for me to, like, process things. Sorry, I'm walking home as I'm videotaping. It's really not, like, the only things going on in my life, you know, like, and here's a big one. Even though I'm so stressed and so many other things are going on or whatever, I'm not even that stressed, you know, relative to, like, all of my life. This is reasonable stress, but like, even though all of those things are going on, this is still, like, the best time, you know, this is the most fun that I've had in my whole life, too. So, like, yes. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, being a college student is stressful. Yes, there's a lot of other things going on in my life. And yes, there's, like, big projects going on and lots of career planning and thinking about the future. But, dude,
I wouldn't have it any other way, you know? And I've had a couple people watching my vlogs lately that, like, I'm kind of embarrassed. Like, they're not watching my vlogs, but they're, like, running across my YouTube channel. I had one of my professors was talking to me today, and he's like, yeah, like, I took a look at your channel, and, like, I see how stressed you are. And I'm like, awesome. Like, that's what people think when they see my stuff. So I'm kind of thinking about, like, how about we rebrand a little bit? How about we push more for, like, thinking optimistically, maybe? So, I don't know. And I think I am a very, very optimistic person, generally speaking. I just, trying to think about how I can express that better. So, anyway, sorry for the wind, but catch you guys later. So it is Tuesday. It's rainy. I just drove myself here and I got here a little bit early, so proud of that. I slept a lot last night, intentionally went to bed early, intentionally didn't get anything done the first day of capstones because I needed a rest. I did. So I went and painted at my church. We're working on a renovation for a new building. They're moving to a different spot, and we've been in like a high school or middle school, something like that. So it's gonna be a good transition to a more comfortable space that's more ours, and it'll be cool. Like, I don't think we've ever had so much like control over the space, so it's really cool seeing everyone come together and put the work in. But yeah, so that was last night. Today we'll be mostly doing some research and trying to get myself back in love with design in general, because honestly, if you think about sustainability in tandem with design, it becomes really, really hard to stay optimistic and motivated, because you realize that design is a significant part of the problem, but really design is only the medium for that intrinsic social and human need for these things to, in a way it solved the problem but made more. And so it's really, really hard for me to strike the balance between, wow, I'm going to make something that will help the world, versus I'm going to make something that will enable this destructive mindset of overconsumption. I don't know, man. I don't know where the line is, and I'm really not sure how to balance it. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to fall back in love with design. So I actually have a conference I'm going to today, digitally, called The Future of Beauty. So it's like going through where the beauty trends are going and that side of things, and hopefully having some understanding of design in a completely different sphere will help me kind of jumpstart that burnout that I'm experiencing right now with getting so narrow with mycelium and all of that. It's such a hard balance, right? Of like, I need to love what I'm doing, but I also need to do what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that helping myself get back on track with like, okay, this is what design can be. I can start to think about how I can spread that message to other people. Because really a capstone is just kind of saying, here's what I think about design, and here's what an application of my thought process is, and here's what it can be. So having a real, genuine understanding of what it can be, and being more optimistic about it. Like, I really think I'm a more optimistic person most of the time, but it's just been really hard lately, scraping from the bottom of the barrel, and that, again, that self-destroying, like, we have to make the world better, but also we're making it worse in the process. So it's hard. It's a give and take, and I'm still trying to find balance. So catch you guys later.
It's a really weird time of life, going into a new season of looking for jobs, potentially getting jobs. It's really hard when, I'm sure YouTube is making this worse for me, when I want to be humble, but also want to be confident, but also want to stay grounded and not talk about my accomplishments all the time. It's really, really hard when there's a lot of additional insecurity. Not even like, oh, I don't look pretty enough, that kind of insecurity, which does exist. It's hard to combat that. It's hard to keep a grounded perspective, not get obsessed in those things. I'm talking about like future insecurity, of like job insecurity, of financial insecurity, of social insecurity, of feeling very precarious. I've talked about this already. Precariousness. It's hard not feeling secure in a friendship that you have or a place of life, and I think I would say for the most part it's gotten better. I've gotten better at not caring so much about being liked by people and more about caring about the other person. relationships aren't about me getting the attention that I want. It's about giving the attention that I want, right? And that's something I've been thinking about even more lately is like the best way to get what you want is to give it, you know? Obviously, that's not in everything, but like the best way to get the kind of friends that you want is to be that friend. The best way to get the relationship that you want is to be the kind of person that you would fall in love with. The best way to grow as a person is to act like it's already happened, to step into that as soon as possible, to find out what you need to change, to listen to the people around you and start becoming that person, start doing what that person would do. And it's really hard, I think, with this one relationship, friendship that I have, because, like, nobody's perfect, right? We're all gonna make mistakes, we're all gonna be messed up, we're all just different kinds of messed up. And I don't know. It just feels like too late, you know? And I know that's not always true, but it's like, how do you draw that line between, like, reflecting on and changing and feeling like you can't relax, feeling like you're not enough? And it's hard when you don't have a lot of positive interactions with someone or a friend, to figure out what you actually are like. And honestly, these vlogs are more about me telling myself the truth over and over because I'm always going to forget than it is about showing off what I do in a day. At least I hope that's what it's more about, and at least initially that was my intention. I'm not going to grow if I'm just obsessed about my form or how I look doing something. Form is different. Form is important. If I'm obsessed about looking a certain way while I'm doing it, even vlogging this right now, like if I was obsessed with looking a certain kind of way, probably wouldn't be filming this. It's not, perfect setup, but it's the imperfections and learning faster and failing faster. It's just hard when it feels like it's too late, with like if somebody stops interacting with you, then you're basically that version of you is frozen and it doesn't move on. They don't get to know any other versions of you, and it's hard. Like I think I'm not going to like apologize for me existing, but I am also understanding. I recognize that for a few weeks there, I was in such a bad spot mentally, socially, and just taking this stupid business class, trying to prepare myself for looking for jobs, putting myself out there, taking those initiatives, having these really cool ideas and visions and conceptions of what the future could be. I understand that it could be really I know that I was in a really bumpy spot for a bit, and I'm really thankful for all my friends, their patience with me, and just continually being like, yeah, this is what's true. Like, you need to stop obsessing on these things that don't actually matter. And just I feel like that this whole business class has been a step forward in some ways, but a huge step back in others that I'm really not happy about. I'm really kind of not happy with myself in that. One of my really good friends just mentioned this morning that she used to be a triathlete and amazing, doing all this crazy stuff. And it's a huge gut check for myself to be I know that if I had that in my back pocket, I would have brought that out way sooner. I would have talked about that before anyone asked, So that combined with watching the documentary about the guy, master penman, calligrapher is an insult for that man. Bill Lilly, I think is how you say his name. And just how humble he was about doing things that he cared about. Really, I'm just trying to do what I love and get better at it. I don't really care about being the best. I just care about giving my best. giving it 100%. And I know I can get competitive. I can definitely get competitive. But it's just really like I just have to stay grounded in myself without getting, self-obsessed or distracted by the stuff that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, I don't know. I just thinking through this and trying to, stay grounded with myself. And the whole reason these videos exist is to tell myself what's true, right? So, if you want something, you have to give it. If you want to have a better relationship with friends, you just have to be a better friend. You just have to listen better, and you have to give more of yourself than you're willing to initially. That being said, I think there are times and places for everything, and respect yourself. And if something feels super duper off, like, don't ignore that either. It's kind of a hard balance, though. It's kind of a really hard balance. Because, like, while expressing yourself is important and listening to others is important, it's like if you're with someone that you're friends with and nothing you say or do is good enough or whatever, I definitely think there's a time to reconsider if the friendship's like worth it to you, And it's hard. It's really, really freaking hard. But it's a give and take, and should be mutual, So anyway, all that to say, it's been a very, very humbling season. Very needed, but also kind of just really frustrating. So, and I also don't want to give too much, I don't want to just be unable to do anything that I don't like, because I don't want to come across as prideful. I don't want to completely shut myself up because I don't want to come across as prideful. It's like, I don't have to say it because it's obvious for most things, but I think it comes in tandem with a lot of other aspects of my life being so precarious. I have to tell myself over and over, like, who I am, because I have so much that is weighing on me. And it is a failure on my part not to be a better friend, but it's life, Seasons, they come and go, and yeah. Don't really have anything more exciting or interesting to share, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So it's just after 10 a.m. It's Friday, and I haven't really done anything yet. I read the newspaper, made myself breakfast, and I decided I was gonna catch up a little bit on my meme culture and see if there's anything on the internet that it was intentional rest time. Basically, I was like, let me just intentionally waste a little bit of time. Like, I haven't really in a while, so it's kind of what I decided to do this morning. I have been working through this book called Who Will Pay Reparations on My Soul. Really, really good read, really interesting, especially in relation to art and music and writing that I don't usually run across in my typical work. Not that I really read and, watch a lot, and like I still have such a small understanding of like art in general that it's very eye-opening to see it from a new perspective and to understand in a new way like how the standard like education about art and the standard view of music and other things can really leave a big gap in an understanding of how that affects black culture and people. And it's just been very, very eye-opening, things I wouldn't think on my own, and that's amazing. Some really good stuff, and very, very well written, so I would recommend that. And just so intelligent that like I keep writing down words that I don't know the meaning of, like I'm just writing down all these words that like are super interesting and I want to learn more about. So yeah, just really, really good read on that. Still been reading Range too, so but In other news, my roommate this morning left for Kosovo for a trip, but similar one to the one I'm going on in May. So definitely hoping that all of their flight things work out okay for them. They were having some issues with, all the hoops you have to jump through to travel nowadays. So there were some setbacks on that, but hopefully that will all work out and they can be there by tomorrow, I think is the plan. It's a long flight, and I know with the overlays and all that stuff, layovers. I always say it backwards because in Photoshop you have overlays. But so with all the layovers and other complications, I think they might be taking a little bit longer. So yeah, should be just hoping that works out for them. But I'm kind of intentionally taking a little bit of a slower day today. Most like more slow than I want to, But I will probably be still going to the gym in a little bit and hopefully get a little bit of the editing done from last weekend because I didn't get around to it with the other video. Yeah, just hoping to put some pieces together and catch up a little bit on that. Not that it's, it shouldn't feel like a burden, right? That's part of the reason I haven't been forcing myself to do it is because I'm doing it for me, and if it's something that I hate doing, I'm not going to stick with it in the long term. So it's like, I'll just skip a few days. I'll skip a week of it, and by the time I get back to it, it'll be enjoyable for me again, and that's the only way I'm going to be able to keep doing it in weeks and months to come. So that's how that's going. A pretty, not busy day, but there's like, some fun social stuff going on. I literally just have one thing going on that day. You know how when you have like nothing else going on in a day and you're like, oh, there's one thing happening. It's like, oh, it's such a bigger deal because oh my gosh, I need to make that one thing really impactful. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much how today's going so far. I made myself some chamomile tea and yeah, probably gonna go to the gym soon and just have a good day. Do what I want to do. Keep reading this, it's really interesting, and yeah, catch you guys later. This is page 32. I really like this one section. It said, "It will make no difference who is in power if in the end we are only interested in building a bunkered future, a siloed desert without social intercourse and mutual conversation, a world with quantified convenience but no qualitative conviction that can help us transcend the otherness imposed on all of us." It's so good. Oh no. It's so good, right? Like, I don't know. You guys should read it. It's fantastic. Hey, so it is currently about 6:45. Here by myself. None of my roommates are back yet from school and stuff. It's Friday night, so a lot of them spend a lot of the time at school, even though we don't have classes. They're working on stuff and studying. Guys, today has been a bit of a roller coaster. Not even sure where to start because it wasn't really until this afternoon. This morning was fine. I intentionally went slow. I vlogged a little bit earlier, so you already saw. I watched some TikToks for a while and then got ready to go, and I went to the gym, and then I came back and I barely had time, so I went and got some food for lunch. I came back and I ate it, I got an entire bowl of Chipotle, and I was just like, I'm so hungry, so I ate the entire thing. And then I didn't really have time to shower, so I just kind of cleaned myself up, made myself presentable, went to IKEA with some friends, and so after IKEA, I came back and I picked up my car, and I needed to go grocery shopping, so I was going to go to my favorite grocery store, right? And I start driving, and I'm on the highway, and there's this lane next to me, so there's an exit. It's a really weird, I don't know what the heck is up with this road. So I'm merging onto this road, but simultaneously there's an exit that I'm leaving for. So there's a main road there that's kind of like merging with mine, really. So really mine is the same road that's going to the exit that I'm coming off of one way and going to another. I have the lane, that is my lane. But there's people merging into it, from the other side. So basically, I was driving next to this truck, and I was like, oh, this truck is just driving his own way, it's fine. We're next to each other. I know I'm in his blind spot. He starts coming over. He's just, slowly meandering over. And, looking back, it's all right, I think
probably could have slowed down instead. I didn't realize how much he was gonna come over. Like, I honked at him a couple times thinking he'd be like, oh shoot, I'm gonna hit someone and move back before, like, giving me time to give him space. He did not. He just kept going. Guessing he had, like, music playing or something, didn't hear me. So he merges into my lane, and so I'm off in the shoulder, right? Which would be fine, except there's a giant random cushion, like a bed mattress in the side of the road, like on the shoulder. And so I'm going like highway speed, slowing down because I'm like, this is awkward. Where am I going? I hit this thing probably like going 45, 50. I wasn't going that fast. So, but it's like full stop. Like, hit the cushion. The cushion, like, a bunch of dust comes out of it. And I'm just like, what the heck just happened? Like, does that person even realize they ran me off the road? The people behind me were polite and stopped because they were like, what the heck just happened? And they probably saw what happened. I honked a couple times, too. And I don't honk at cars. I'm not a honker. I don't know. Looking back, it's like, obviously, I should have slowed down and just, like, let them get in front of me. I just did not expect them to just keep coming. And also was not expecting a cushion on the side of the road. I was planning on just slowing down and getting out of the way and then getting back on. But, yeah, cushion. Hit it full speed, stopped, and then kind of snuck back onto the road. Somehow my car is fine. Bert is very resilient. Bert is my car. Bert was fine. It had one little tuft of, like, fluff on it when I went to get to the grocery store, which I was only a couple minutes away from at that point. That was really just, I was like, what the frick just happened? Like, what the heck was that? Like, why? Why did that happen? I also made some pasta, so some good stuff. Got some good ingredients from the grocery store and made this. But, so I got to the grocery store and all that stuff. Was fine. I'm driving home, though. Driving home, like, okay, I was a little out of it in the store because I was like, that just happened. Like, whoa, I need to process this. So I get all my stuff and I leave. And I'm driving home, and I'm just driving normally. A little nervous because I'm like, I don't know if there's actually something secretly wrong with this car, even though it's driving fine and everything feels fine. So I'm driving, and I look in the rear view mirror, and out of nowhere, this dude is swerving, like, swerving fast. He's zooming, like, and I was like, man, that guy's gonna cause an accident. Like, you can't drive like that. He had turned really suddenly, and I think he was, like, avoiding something. I don't know, but he was also going so fast that there's no way this person wasn't already out of control with their car. So that was really scary. Like, they didn't hit anyone, which I think is such a miracle that they managed to go relatively safely handle it, as far as no one else was injured. It was really bad, though. They hit the median, and, like, the whole front of their car was, like, completely destroyed. So, yeah, I just saw that in my rearview mirror, and I was like, okay, guess that's happening. I don't really know what to do with that. Obviously, I don't want to be in their way, like, so I just drove on. It just feels so weird to, like, have that kind of experience, to see that kind of thing, and you just drive home. Like, I'm just gonna keep going with my life. And here I am, you know, like, safe in my apartment. I made myself some pasta. I did watch Barbie Life in the Dream House to help myself decompress from it. And my back does kind of hurt from that sudden stop with the fluffy stuff mattress thing. I don't even know. I don't have anything to hit, though, at that, however fast I was going. Like, a cushion was pretty good. And considering that I didn't end up getting my tires stuck in it or anything, pretty good. Still processing that accident that happened behind me, because that was bad. So, I don't know. The driving is wild. I've got other stories. People who know me in real life know them very well. It took me until last year to get my driver's license. And honestly, it still makes me nervous. Driving's kind of the worst, and unless you have to use it to get places, like, it's okay. 95% of the time, I think it's so fun being able to drive. Today was not one of those days. I was just like, get me home safe, get me home safe, get me home safe. And that was it. So I got home safe and, managed to avoid anything else happening with my car, and still feels a little surreal. Even talking about it now, I'm like, was that real? Did that happen? I didn't make that up, right? Honestly, my imagination's not that good. It's just a fact. So that happened. But yeah, haven't really been able to talk about it with anyone yet, other than I called one of my roommates. So consider yourselves second people to know about this event that happened today. So anyway, I am gonna call it that for tonight. I am super behind on editing these videos, and I'm planning to get a little bit more caught up tonight. It is something I do for me. It's not something I'm doing for other people, so as much as I can get done, I will get done, and I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. So, but in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy my pasta and appreciate that I survived today. At the end of the day, I made it through another day, and that's pretty good. Pretty proud of that. So, catch you guys later.